This video is brought to you by TCG.
What is up guys, Cardaka here, and today I'm here with another Digimon deck profile. Today we'll be doing a BT-22 Diaboromon deck profile. With the BT-22 set out, Diaboromon got a little bit of support, and it's actually, the new line is actually really good. So we're gonna make a new deck, or update our deck, and see what we can cook up. Overall, the deck is pretty fun. It's similar to the old build, but we are utilizing the new line quite a bit, so we'll just mainly go over the new line. But yeah, let's go over the Digitamers first. So we're running for the new Digimon. So this one just lets you draw a card whenever you play a unidentified trait Digimon. So whenever you spawn a token, you'll be able to draw a card once per turn. So it's pretty good just to dig through your deck. Another new addition is the Diaboromon from BT-22. This is rare with an amazing art. So this card's ability is, it's got Alliance, so this is one of the ways that you can buff it up without giving it jamming, just so you can be over security. And then on evolution and on attack, you can play a Diaboromon token. And then on all turns, once per turn, when any of your other Digimon with the unidentified trait is played, you can delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest play cost. So overall, it's a pretty strong ability that just works with itself. First, when you evolve and attack, you can spawn a token, which you can use for Alliance. And also, whenever you play an unidentified trait card, you can just pop something on the board. So overall, this is a really strong rare, and it is it's pretty good. I would probably run a 4th copy if I had space for it, but I do want to run some other techs. So yeah, we're running 3 copies of Diaboromon Ace. Pretty self-explanatory for this one. I think if you can fit in a 4th copy, you definitely can. But I think 3 is fine. You just use the options to run other stuff. So 3-3, you'll see these often enough that you don't need to max them out. So it gives you a little bit of space to run other things. For example, we're also running 2 copies of the Diaboromon from EX6. This one's still okay because it gives you a free token on a certain main phase, so you'll be able to get some on the board, and also gives all of your Digimon jamming and blocker, which can be pretty huge. But you know, as I said, with the new Diaboromon, you do have Alliance, which lets you get some extra security checks in addition to the power boost, so it kind of overwrites the jamming. But just giving your stuff blocker, all your tokens blocker is huge. So it's pretty good for that. So we're running a mix just because depending on what you're matched up against, I think you'll have a better time running one over the other. So having a mix is nice, but most of the time in this current environment, I think having the Alliance is good, and being able to delete Digimon per turn is also really good. So you can get rid of one of their protections. Just one way to get rid of the protection, so it's nice. And then we're also running 2 copies of the Diaboromon from BT5. So this one is huge right now because it does shut down all level 7 Digimons on evolution abilities. So you're able to shut down most of the Omnimon abilities. So that is actually really huge because Omnimon is just a huge threat in the meta right now, and being able to shut off its on-evolution ability is good. And this is also another card that can help you just get a free hit in. So, or not really free, but it does, it's a really cheap hard cast if you pop a token. So, yeah. So we're running those. Those are all our big boys. Moving on to our level 5s, we're running 4 copies of the EX6 Infirmon. So this is the one that's on play on evolution. You can pop one of your Diaboromon cards to Digivolve into Diaboromon without paying its cost. So this is obviously really strong. You can hard cast this as well, and then just straight off go into a Diaboromon. For 7 costs, it's actually not bad. We do have a memory setter Arata now, and we also have the old Arata, which just gives us memory. So it's not rare that you start the turn with 4 to 5 memory. So being able to just slap this down is not too bad. We're also running 3 copies of the Infirmon from BT-22. This is also really good. On play and on evolution, you can delete one of your opponent's Digimon with pay costs of 5 or less, and then if you have Arata or your opponent's Digimon cannot reduce this amount of DP or bounce it to their hand or deck until the end of turn, which is nice. And then on both players' turn, whenever any of your Digimon are deleted, with unidentified trait are deleted, you can play a Diaboromon token. So this is another way to spawn tokens. You can use your small tokens to slam into your opponent, and then if it dies, you can spawn another one and just go for another attack. So it's pretty strong. It's really up to you how you want to mix and match these level 5s. Just because they're both really strong, and this Infamon also has a Digivolve 1 whenever you play a token, which is also really good. So it's honestly up to you guys, but yeah, you can run 4 of these, 3 of these, or you can bump it up to 4/4 if you want to cut out something else in this deck. And yeah, it still works. So let's move on to level 4s. We're running 4 copies of the new Digimon. So this one is on evolution. If you have one of your Tamers, you can play the Arata. So it's just a new buff version of the Tamer play. And then the second ability, the inherent ability is when this Digimon would Digivolve into a Diaboromon text. When this Digimon with Diaboromon text would leave the battle area, you can delete one of your other Diaboromon and it doesn't leave. So it's just protection. So the deck has your stack finally has protection, which is really nice. So we're definitely gonna max out 4 of these. And then we're also running 3 copies of the Diaboromon from BT-22. This is also a Tamer play, but it only works if you have no Aratas on the board. But the most important thing about this card is the rush it gives your other Digimon with the same name. So pretty important. I think having the rush just lets you go aggro a little bit faster. So we're running 3 copies of these. We're running 4 just because deck space is kind of tight. So 3, 4, and then 3 of these. So if you want to cut this down to 2 and then bump up a 4th one, you definitely can. But I feel like this one's also pretty good. You get memory whenever you play a Digimon with the same name as this card. So whenever you spawn tokens, you get memory. So pretty much your evolutions here will just be 2 cost, which is really nice to go into a level 6. So yeah, running those. And if your Diaboromon stay on the board, you'll also be able to just gain memory whenever you spawn a token. So it's stonks. And keep in mind, this is not once per turn. So whenever you spawn a token, you can just get memory. So it's really good. Next for level 3s, we are running 4 copies of the Ketamon. So Ketamon, this new Ketamon, looks top 3, grabs a Arata and also a card with unidentified or CS trait. And then the inherent ability is just the protection again. So you have lots of ways to protect your Diaboromon now, which is really important for the deck. Because a lot of times you'll have the tokens, and then you can just get rid of those instead of your actual main tower. Next, we're also running 4 copies of the BT-17 Diaboromon. This one lets you warp into a Infamon if your opponent plays or Digivolves into a level 5 or higher Digimon. This is an immediate threat on the board for your opponent. Even if you don't have the Infamon in hand, as long as you have this out, they will have to try to find a way to play around it or get rid of it first. So it's just like a really nice bluff card. And then the inherit is on deletion. If this card has the unidentified trait, you can play a Diaboromon. So this is another way you can just cheat a token out. And then if you cheat a token out, you can also just sack it to go into to hardcast the Infamon and go into Diaboromon. So pretty nice. All right, next we're running 2 copies of the Arata for Tamers. So this is the memory setter, and it also lets you change attack targets on your opponent's turn to one of your unidentified traits. So pretty good. You don't really need to run 3 or 4 though, just because I feel like the main purpose here is just a setter. It's a setter that can be searched with your Ketamons. So he's good for that. And it's also a potential free play with one of your Diaboromons, so it's good. But besides that, I think we have other ways to just get blocker, like with this Diaboromon. But if you don't have it, you can just use this to just get rid of some of your tokens for some chump blockers. So he's still pretty good. But I think the golded Tamer is still the 3-cost Arata from BT-5. I think this Tamer is actually like super ahead of its time. If you look at the abilities of Tamers nowadays, it's kind of like matching this card's ability. This card's just really, really strong. Even 17 sets later, it's a stonks card. Gets you a free memory if you have a trash, another trait card in your trash, and then on your turn, whenever one of your Diaboromon evolves, you can rest this to spawn a token, which is really good, just because most of your Diaboromons already give you tokens. So by Digivolving a Diaboromon, you get 2 free bodies on the board. So you can use this to kind of overwhelm your opponent, which is of course nice. And then for the rest of the deck, for the options, we're running 4 copies of the training, using this to potentially grab your Aratas if you need it. We're not running memory boost just because I don't want to bottom deck my Aratas, because they're pretty important. Having these as many of these on the board will increase your chances of winning exponentially, just because you'll be able to get more tokens on the board, you'll be able to get more memory. So he's just really, really important to the game plan. So we're running 1 copy of Black Scramble. Depending how things work out, I think it is a potential free evolution if you use this to go into your Diaboromon, so it's pretty good. Also gives you a body on the board if you need it, so yeah, it's good. And last but not least, we're running 1 copy of the Lapis's Demon. This is just a little trick that you can do if you're stuck on level 5 and you aren't quite able to go into your level 5 that turn. You can kind of use this to force your opponent to attack into you, so that you can go into your Diaboromon Ace. So it's pretty good. But I'm running 1 just because it's not really a combo that you can get off all the time. You know, if you need it, you can use it. So overall, that's it for the Diaboromon deck. Diaboromon is definitely one of my favorite villain Digimon in the entire Digimon franchise. So I'm pretty excited whenever he gets a new deck. So yeah, overall that's all I have for this deck profile. There are some other Kurosawimons and other just cards that are in this line that you can run over some of the options I picked, but I feel like in this environment and with the idea of how I want to play the deck, I feel like this is one of the more consistent ways to play the deck, but you can definitely adjust the ratios and play around some cards. And since I am a Diaboromon purist, I am running I'm not running a lot of other cards that you can potentially splash into this deck. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this deck price. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want to build this deck, feel free to go to BT-22 and use coupon code KAROTAKUDES0725 for 3% off on checkout on all products. So it includes card sleeves, deck boxes, singles, sealed products, anything. You can get 3% off as long as your order is above 13 USD. But that's pretty much it for this deck price. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Sorry if I sound a little bit tired today. I didn't get enough sleep yesterday, so I might be mumbling more than I usually do. But anyway, that's pretty much it for this deck price. Hope you guys enjoyed it. This is Karataku, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!